for being here, and hopefully we will be able to beat the rain today. I am Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, so honored to be at the gathering spot again. There have been some great moments made right here at the gathering spot, Ryan. As I know you recall, we hosted then candidate Joe Biden here. That was a turning point in the Biden campaign, along with mayors from across the Southeast. And I am very proud to say that everything that then candidate Biden shared with us inside the gathering spot really has come full circle as we talk about building back better. Thank you to Congresswoman Williams. We are in the 5th District, so we are grateful that you have allowed us to be in your district today, our city, to kick off this tour. I had the great honor of checking my son into his dorm this weekend, and it's at a great HBCU. He's told me I don't have to tell everybody his business, so I won't mention which one it is, but I do know that many HBCUs across this country have had the opportunity to give some relief to student debt because we are building back better. In the city of Atlanta and in cities across this country over the last year, as America and the globe has dealt with this pandemic, we wondered how would we make ends meet. We had deficits in our city budget that we were wondering how we would fill those gaps, but with funds from the American Rescue Plan, we have been able to balance our budget once again in the city of Atlanta. We've also talked about what we are facing across this country in terms of an uptick in violent crime. With funds from the American Rescue Plan and Building Back Better, we have been able to put millions of dollars into violence intervention programs to help expand our camera network throughout the city, and the list goes on. And then, as our children get ready to go back to school, and so many parents have been faced with making those difficult decisions on how they return to work, how they can make ends meet as our kids balance virtual learning, there's been a lot of uncertainty. But right here in Georgia alone, 170,000 children will be lifted out of poverty because of the child tax credit payment. And I believe the second set of checks are rolling out very soon. So thank you, Congresswoman Williams, for making that possible. As our chair, Jamie Harrison, often says, the D in Democrat stands for deliver. President Biden, Vice President Harris, and so many of our great representatives in Congress are making sure that we are delivering for the people of Georgia, and we are delivering for people across this country. Now, I know this is 2021, but we also have to remember that next year some big elections will take place, including the election of our Senator Raphael Warnock. Because Georgia made a difference, we've been able to make a difference in this country. So we will be all across the country with surrogates all across the country spreading the word of how elections matter, how we are building back better, how we will build back stronger. I mentioned Ryan Wilson. Ryan is an incredible entrepreneur. I won't even call him a young entrepreneur because he's more than that. He's absolutely incredible. The gathering spot is a central location in our city, and I know that he's recently expanded to some other cities, Washington, D.C., New York, is that right? And New York, and the list grows on and on. So thank you, Ryan, for hosting us once again. And with that, I'm going to call you up for some remarks.
Well, thank you, Mayor Bottoms, and to my Congresswoman from the 5th District. It is so good to welcome the DNC back to the gathering spot. We have been a business, I mean, if you look at our name, the gathering spot, and to be told over the last year and a half plus that we could not gather in the way that we have been accustomed to over the nearly 6 years that we've been here, it has been a challenge. If I go back to March of last year when we made the decision as a team to close our doors, I couldn't tell you all of the things that I have seen over these last 16 or so months what happened, but what I have seen is just how proud I am of this community. We have emerged truly as a business that is building back better. We entered the pandemic with about 100 members of our team. We stand now with about 150. We started the pandemic with one location. We are now about to have 3. And so thanks to the administration, to the American Rescue Plan, we are a business that has been able to take advantage of these programs to continue our efforts to grow the community here at TGS. I am confident that you will continue to see gathering spots all over the country because of the efforts of this administration, genuinely. I was able to retain my people, right? As any entrepreneur knows, that is one of the most essential parts of continuing to operate a business. And again, now as we look towards the future, it's bright. And so with that said, it is my profound honor to introduce again my Congresswoman from the 5th District and the chair of the Democratic Party of Georgia, Congresswoman Williams.
Thank you so much, Ryan, for hosting us. Thank you, Mayor Bottoms, and our Vice Chair of the DNC for being here with us today. Y'all, I am so glad to welcome the DNC's Build Back Better bus tour to the great city of Atlanta and to Georgia's 5th Congressional District. We have so much to celebrate and be proud of today, and I don't know about y'all, but I cannot believe that it has been only 7 months since President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris took office and Democrats took control of Congress, thanks to what we did right here in the great state of Georgia. As the representative of Georgia's 5th Congressional District and the chair of the Democratic Party of Georgia, I've seen firsthand how transformational the last 7 months have been for families here in Atlanta and across our entire state. Mayor Bottoms mentioned the child tax credit. That is literally cutting childhood poverty in half, y'all. Cutting childhood poverty in half. These are transformational changes that we're doing because of the work that you did here in Georgia by electing Democrats up and down the ballot. This summer has shown us how critical elections are. Last month alone, 943,000 jobs were created. The economy has added a record-shattering 4 million jobs since President Biden took office. And in the past 6 months, the economy has gone from creating only 60,000 new jobs a month to creating 60,000 new jobs every 2 days. 60,000 new jobs every 2 days. And we're seeing that progress right here in Georgia. Hiring is accelerating and wages are rising across the state. President Biden and Democrats' economic plan is working, and Georgians are returning to the workforce with higher paying jobs as a result. And we're not done, y'all. Now Democrats are fighting for investments in our roads, bridges, water systems, and high-speed internet. These investments will keep driving economic growth and bring even more jobs to our state. The Biden administration is a jobs administration, and working families are at the center of their economic agenda. Just last week, we talked about the child tax credit, and Mayor Bottoms, those next round of checks started hitting on the 15th. So if you have direct deposit, you should have already seen this money in your accounts. And if you haven't, reach out to your member of Congress, reach out to me, and we can help you track it down. Because these tax cuts will lift 171,000 Georgia children out of poverty. Millions across the state are feeling the impact of this. 91% of Georgia families with children are now able to get just a little bit of relief every month. 91% of families with children. So we don't have to wonder whether there will be food on the table when they go home at night or whether the lights will stay on because of what has happened with Democrats' leadership with President Biden leading our country. After just 1 month of these tax cuts, child hunger has dropped 24% across the entire country. Y'all, this is why we do this work, These are real people's lives being made better every single day because of the results of our elections right here in Georgia. And this is all thanks to also the American Rescue Plan, which passed with crucial votes from Georgia's 2 senators, my friends, Senator John Ossoff and Reverend Senator Raphael Warnock. But not a single Georgia Republican supported the American Rescue Plan, which means they're not supporting the working families of this state. They're not supporting children who needed to be lifted up out of poverty. Not one single Republican voted for the American Rescue Plan. And if the Republicans lining up to challenge Senator Warnock had their way, Georgia families wouldn't be seeing these critical tax cuts. That's what President Biden and Democrats mean when they say that we're building back better. It's about creating more good-paying jobs, cutting taxes for working families, and making sure that our children have what they need to thrive. Georgia helped deliver the White House and Congress for President Biden and Democrats, and now President Biden and Democrats are delivering for Georgians. As we near the 2022 election cycle, the contrast between Democrats and Republicans couldn't be more clear. While Democrats in Congress deliver, Republicans obstruct. While my fellow Georgia Democrats are fighting for families across the state, Georgia Republicans are sitting on their hands and refusing to lead. That means it's even more important that we re-elect Senator Raphael Warnock to a full term, that we re-elect my friend Carolyn Bordeaux and Lucy McBath and all Democrats up and down the ballot, that we kick do-nothing Republicans like Brian Kemp to the curb and finally give Georgians the leadership that we deserve. In the meantime, I look forward to continuing to work with President Biden, Vice President Harris, my mayor, and my fellow Democrats to rebuild our economy from the bottom up and middle out, because we're not going to stop fighting for you, y'all, because that's what this work is about. Thank you so much, and I'm going to turn it over to our communications team for some questions.